roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
One last night, one legendary career. On April 4th at 7 p.m., Love Nebraska hosts Love Austin at Baxter Arena, and it marks the final home match of Olympic gold medalist Jordan Larson's career. From world championships to unforgettable runs in Nebraska, she's defined excellence at every level. Now she shares the court one final time at home against an Austin squad ready to compete. It's more than a matchup. It's a farewell to a Nebraska icon and global trailblazer. Be there to witness history on April 4th at 7 p.m. Get your tickets now at lovneb.com/tickets. There are so many realtors in Lincoln and Omaha, but don't get overwhelmed by all the no-names, plus all the different companies. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group at Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Real Estate is your go-to option, whether buying or selling residential, luxury, leasing, investment properties, or commercial property, small or large. Ben's team offers decades of experience, unbeatable customer service, and promises to fully protect your interests throughout the entire transaction. Call 402-419-6309 for all your real estate needs. Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of BHHS Ambassador Real Estate.
Red Custom Homes in Lincoln honors our fighting men and women of the military and all of the veterans who have gone before. We salute you and thank you for your sacrifice. We understand freedom comes with a price. Our prayers go with you and your families. Stay safe, stay strong, and may God bless America. This military tribute from Red Custom Homes in Lincoln, serving the community for 15 years. Call 402-499-6784. Saluting those who make our country stronger.
Are you looking for a fresh new hangout spot? Let me tell you about Liquid Assets Sports Bar, where Mondays mean new weekly drink and food features. With 23 taps, a full lineup of cans and bottles, and 40 TVs blasting every sports package out there, you'll never worry about missing a play. Savor high-end spirits at their stylish top-shelf bar, enjoy a healthy menu, family-friendly atmosphere, and catch all of your favorite teams every day. Doors open daily at 11 a.m. Liquid Assets Sports Bar, located at 2755 Jamie Lane in South Lincoln.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. You've got used to one segment of good takes in the morning, but now there's a full show of good takes at night. Welcome into Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome in, Raff's Good Takes on 93.7 Ticket. Or excuse me, Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. We got Chris Raff, the host as always. I feel like it's been a minute, Chris Raff, but how's it going on just a beautiful March 31st? One more day and we flip the calendar to April.
It's the year's flying by again. I don't understand this. I needed to slow down a little bit. However, I prefer my football seasons. However, now that I'm a big Braves fan, we're right at the beginning of the baseball season. The Braves dropped the game tonight. They dropped 3-2 on the season. But I've been, really watching this Nebraska baseball game tonight. So I've been keeping an eye on that. Nebraska came out on fire, took a 6-0 lead. Then Creighton, aided by a lot of free 90s. Now it's 6-5, I believe, at my last count. I'm
6-5, bottom of the ninth.
Bottom of the ninth. Yeah. One out still.
Yep. And Creighton, obviously, at bat.
Yep. And so they got Nebraska's got their I think their best closer that Jay Sean Unger, I believe that's his name. He's got some great movement, I've noticed, in the last inning. So hopefully he can close the door and shut the door on the Creighton Blue Jays until they meet up again. I believe it's April 14th at Hawks Field in Lincoln. So
Well, as
the
we
weather-
talk, just stole a base. So they had a man on first, and they just stole second.
wonderful. So
We're in you give up a home run at the ball. I mean, you're in a tough spot right now. You got to clean up that pitching, and then we can walk out here and get a win.
and there's nothing. And if they drop this game, they have no one to blame but themselves. I mean, it's like
It was 6-0. I think at the top of the bottom of the sixth inning.
and then they decided that they wanted to give away some free 90s on walks and stuff like that. And next, you played Creighton back into the game. So we shall see. Hopefully they can pull it off. But speaking on a brighter note tonight, earlier in Creighton, also just down the road, the Nebraska women's softball team won 8-2. And that was an interesting game. I'll tell you what, I was actually watching both games, and Creighton and Nebraska just kind of going kind of that back and forth. It was 3-2, nothing too dramatic, but then Nebraska just ignited, and I think it was the sixth. Was it the fifth or the sixth? It was right. Yeah, sixth inning. They put up a bunch of runs, ended up winning 8-2. What impressed me about that was when they took off and put up the runs in the I think it was the sixth inning. It was aided on the bottom of their lineup. There's 7, 8, and 9 hitters. So it's always cool to see your 7, 8, and 9 hitters, be the spark to put it, to get you up into the Jordy Fromm area and stuff like that. So it's fun watching Nebraska softball. And then did I see that right? That Nebraska is rated number 4 now in the country in softball?
Oh, is that where it jumped up to number 4? I did not realize that went out already.
That's what they had on the TV tonight. I'm not sure if that's true or where that came from, because sometimes the ESPN Plus broadcasts are a little
Testy.
Yeah, like I know
at times.
Well, I wasn't sure what was going on with Nebraska versus Creighton tonight, because the scoreboard only went out 7 innings, when they go to commercial. So the whole game, I was like, is this only going to be a 7-inning game? And then they surpassed that. So even the graphic still says 7 innings and in the 9-inning game. So yeah, it's
I'm trying to make sure. Yeah, number 4, Nebraska.
Hello.
Official.
Man,
makes sense. I mean, you have a series like that versus UCLA. You have a win over number 1 Texas and number 2 Texas A&M. I might actually have those guys backwards, but you got to win versus number 1, number 2 team. You just had a top 10 series win versus UCLA. You're dominating the teams that you're supposed to dominate. You're cleaning up house here. I mean, it's looking like a top 5 program, and this is a team that maybe just doesn't host the regional, but a super regional. I mean, these guys are in some territory that's maybe not super surprising, but it's good to see them fall through with it, knowing what talent you had out there. And oh man, I don't know if you saw the freshman home run versus UCLA the other day.
Oh, in the parking lot?
272 yards is insane. She smoked that thing. And that's a freshman. So you just, there's a lot of really bright spots. You got the veteran leadership, and then you got some really good young talent on this team. So you feel like not only do you have like the leadership, you got some X factors that can cause problems in just about any game.
Could you imagine the weekend if Nebraska ended up making it and hosting a super regional in softball, that there would be a good possibility that Nebraska would be hosting a regional in baseball? Can you imagine that weekend of baseball and softball that weekend? We try to speak it into existence. I mean, we tried our hardest to speak the Nebraska basketball team playing the same day as the spring game, which we almost spoke it into existence. So hopefully, just maybe, that would be a huge baseball softball weekend in Lincoln if you could have both teams playing, one in a regional and one in a super regional. So I hold out hope for that, because I think it's due that Nebraska baseball to have a regional. I think that's, like they talk about, that's the next step. And then, the Nebraska softball team, if they continue to take care of business, they should be put themselves in position, to make a run for what Bricktown and OKC and the national U.S. softball complex where they play the the Women's College World Series every year. So it's fun times to be a Nebraska Husker fan in so many sports, just the success that they're having right now. I'm hoping that success will rub off on the Nebraska football team come next fall, and we can just continue that success right through with the volleyball team, the football team, and so forth. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I don't know what Husker fans are going to do with themselves if baseball hosts a regional and softball hosts a regional and then a super regional. I mean, the expectations of this place are getting a little bit heavy. I mean, if you're a program that's not a top tier, top 25, not even top 25, we're talking top 16 if you're hosting a regional. Like, if that's the standard for all these programs, my goodness, it's a great problem to have. But yeah, these guys have been absolutely lights out. And in this baseball game, we're hoping that they follow along with the softball team because it is currently 6-5. They do have 2 outs, though. They got back to the top of the lineup and they struck him out. Well, actually, I don't think they struck him out. It was a flight out. So we just got one man on second base and we need one more out. And then the Huskers can walk out of here with a win. So hopefully they can add that to the list. But I didn't, I'll be honest, Raff. I didn't know, but I certainly wouldn't have predicted the baseball team to be this good already. The softball team, I had a good idea. Like, it doesn't surprise me that they're flirting with a top 5 team in the country. Baseball, I mean, way to put it on the line there, because you had, again, the 3 Big Ten championships. It's like year 1, you're a good team. Makes sense that you win it. Year 2, some might say it's quote unquote feels a little bit fluky. Year 3, it's like right back on track. And it's like, okay, last year, we're kind of carrying over the result of the Big Ten championship. Like, this is just a well-fueled team right now where, again, you're feeling like this is sustainable at this rate right now. So I've been blown away. I don't know if you had the same expectations for how good Nebraska baseball was going to be.
Well, the one thing I've held out with Nebraska baseball, that even the prior couple of years, even when they won the Big Ten championship, they've started out the year with injuries to their pitching staff.
Yep, every year.
Never really came into a season with a full pitching staff of, healthy set of arms going into the season. And I think that's one thing that Nebraska this year has, is that they have the health of their pitching staff. So I think that's what's made Nebraska dangerous this early in the season. So I like seeing that. And then you've got, the leadership, the Dylan Careys, the Cal Sandersons, and those guys there that, and man, I'll tell you what, that Jeter Worthley, I like watching him play too. He's the freshman catcher. He might be a redshirt freshman catcher for Nebraska, but he tagged up tonight on a short fly ball. I mean, probably the fastest catcher I'd probably say in the country, because you don't see a catcher that often tagging up with that. And then the speed, and looks like his bat's coming along. So they're a fun team to watch. It's definitely, if you're in Lincoln and you're in that area to go watch them play, you definitely, but it's really weird. Nebraska's baseball, it feels like baseball season's just started. But if you look at their schedule, they've only got like 3 more weekend series at Hawks Field this year, because their home schedule, I think it's the second week in May. I think it's crazy how you feel like baseball season goes on for a while, the way it, goes out with the College World Series, but then it goes by so quickly. And it's like, man, we're already, rolling up on June, and then you've got, the College World Series going on, down in Omaha. So it's crazy how fast the baseball season flies by. But like we talked about earlier, the years go by so fast. I mean, you blink. I feel like we blink and it's like, oh, we're almost football season. Oh, we're almost about, it's crazy how fast.
W.
Whew.
Huskers win 6-5. That was a close one. I'm getting some texters, some updates. I don't have it on TV, but apparently it was some close one. They wanted an out earlier. They nearly picked a runner off at second, wanted a replay, but the call stands. It was a close one. But now Huskers win it on a north flight out ball, 6-5.
Yeah, it must be
good to beat Creighton. This is the game that makes me say the season's different, Raff, because we drop this game, feels like every year.
It must be windy there tonight, because I was kind of keeping an eye on it, and our center fielder started running up on it, and that's that's why I said because I saw him start to run in circles a little bit, and I was like, oh no, because I saw the guy on second, going around going around third base, and I was like, oh, if he drops this, we're in trouble. But thankfully, he was able to get his bearings and kind of take a few steps back and make the catch. So, yeah, Nebraska, that's another victory. What is that, 18 out of the last 19 now, or I think 17, 19? I think it is 18 out of the last 19, I believe. So,
No, that math is correct, Raff. Like, these guys are on an absolute tear. Like, that's what I mean. You can't look at this and say, like, well, it's a little bit fluky. I mean, no, they're just on an absolute tear. You had that beginning of the year where in their first 10 games, they lost 1, 2, 3, 5, but they're playing really good opponents in a lot of those. Your last loss was obviously Michigan, but since you got left Auburn, you beat Omaha, South Dakota, obviously, but you sweep the series versus Michigan State. You beat North Dakota State. You sweep the series versus Maine. You sweep the series versus Wichita State. 1 loss to Michigan, and then you absolutely pummel them 10-0 and then 9-5. You beat Kansas State. You sweep Indiana, and now you get a win over a rival in Creighton. And now you have Penn State coming up next year. Like, you just look at the rest of the schedule, Raph. Not a lot of teams that I think could realistically give Nebraska a ton of fits. You're looking at Oregon, you're looking at USC. Those are
I was just going to say, and it's a midweek game. Nebraska, it seems like the prior years we always complain about, the midweek games always come up and bite Nebraska. And this is another one of those. This is a rivalry midweek game, and Nebraska's able to hang on and get the victory. And that's huge, going in for morale, I think, going into the weekend with the weekend series and not having, the questions rise up. Why can't you win in the middle of the week? They took care of business. They got it finished tonight. Like they always say, all you got to do is win by 1. That's what Nebraska did. So that's a good.
Feels pretty dang good. You know how long it takes for us to get to 20 wins normally? I think it was like late April last year. We finally, so like it's to be at 20. Again, you're at 23 wins and it's not even April yet. Awesome position to be in. And like you said, the season's going by fast though.
I heard it.
Left.
I heard a statistic tonight that like this is one of the top 5 best starts in the history of Nebraska baseball, which it was kind of wild to me to think, back to like the Dave Van Horn years and those years where the baseball program was really going, and being that this is one of the top 5 starts in baseball in the program history, which again, it could be true. It might not be true. The broadcast people probably are not the pro of pros, but that's to be in that echelon and put up that many wins. I mean, that bodes well for at the end of the year, like we talked about earlier with the, yes, they lost to Auburn, but Auburn's one of the, the top team. It helps their resume. I mean, they did get 1 victory against them.
Yep.
So when it comes time to award a regional, because that's where Nebraska's at now, is they need to get that regional, to host a regional, to where, it always seems like we're having to go to somebody else's house. And that's always a struggle, going against the quote unquote number 1 seed, like we went to Arkansas, and I'm excited to see.
Hosting a regional has its own type of advantage that other regionals don't get. Like Husker fans, hosting is a nightmare for, like, if Nebraska gets to host the regional, everyone's hoping that's not the regional they get selected to, because they just know if they're not a Nebraska fan, they're not going to be harassed by Nebraska fans, but it's going to be loud and it's going to be a lot of Go Big Red chants, and you're going to be drowned out if you show up with your family. So you definitely want to be in that position. Like softball, obviously, same story there, but you feel pretty good about it. I think, what are they sitting at, like 19 right now? You just got to get into that top 16. And the games, again, like you are in the Big Ten, so you can kind of clean house for the most part. There's going to be obviously challenges, but then you also do get Oregon and USC. So those 2 series right there, like if you take care of business in those series, okay, now you're really sitting good. So like, I think those are the big series to watch. Obviously, they got to maintain and keep winning ball games. But if they are staying on track and then they get to those tougher series, if you win those, I think those are going to be the ones that move you into a, not a guarantee, but a pretty good safe spot where you feel pretty good about where your future will lie.
Yeah. And also too, talk about hosting a regional. We've seen what Nebraska, did at the NCAA tournament down in Oklahoma City and Houston. And now you have Nebraska with an opportunity to return possibly back to Omaha with a couple a regional and a super regional. I can only imagine how crazy Hawks Field would be, because I think back to the Buck Belcher days, a little bit before your time, and just what the regionals were like there, and just how many people, and just how the collection of people that would be at Hawks Field to watch, Nebraska with an opportunity to win a regional. It'd be insane. It would set, all the attendance records that Nebraska's ever had, because we're seeing it with the sports right now, softball setting the record this past weekend for a 3-game series. Now you're going to see it, and it's just going to continue the monster. Like I was talking, with Nick last night, it's just like Nebraska fans, they're great fans all the time. Like even Nebraska football fans, they're always been great fans. Like they've always shown up. They've shown up when Nebraska basketball was, average, below average. They've always shown up. Maybe not always sell out, but they've always had good crowds. And now that these programs are giving Nebraska fans something to really get behind, then you see the complete, the fire and how much passion Nebraska fans have for the sports. Because you talk about, like, if, say, Nebraska would somehow get back in the College World Series, could you imagine what it would look like down at Charles Schwab? I mean, we've seen what it looks like at Rosenblatt. I mean, it'd be insane. Like, you take, the parties and all the stuff that's gone on there for the last 20 years without Nebraska, times it by probably 5 to 10, because it's just what the passionate Nebraska fans.
Well, I mean, when we had the Big Ten championship, like obviously the past 2 years, but last year you really saw it because Nebraska absolutely needed it. Obviously, punched their ticket for the regionals. Like,
yep,
that was the Big Ten championship. That looked better than pretty much the majority, if not all, of the College World Series games, leaving out the championship game. Like, the Husker Nation, they just love seeing their team win, and if it's a good product, like, people just go nuts for it. So I don't know what it looked like. The money Lincoln and Omaha would pour in as a result.
Yeah,
sounds great. The money that the ticket, I mean, it'd be easy to get sponsors, to get guys to go cover that, obviously, because everyone's eyes are going to be on Husker baseball. So it wouldn't just be good for, like, the sports, but just the revenue for the state. Like, everyone would be going absolutely buck wild for it. But again, you're in a position to where that's obtainable. This is like the first year that we're talking about, at least since I've been, like, really grown up watching it. More I'm talking about this, like, man, what if Nebraska hosted a regional? And it's like a real possibility. Normally it's kind of like in dreamland. Like, well, that'd be cool. I don't know if it'll ever happen in my lifetime, but, like, now we're at a point where I don't know exactly where it is, but maybe one of the best starts, top 5 starts ever for Nebraska baseball history. You're at 23 wins already. You got impressive wins at the beginning of the year. You're cleaning up house. You just beat a rival in Creighton in a midweek.
Yep.
I can absolutely see pandemonium going on. I don't know. And you really do want to host it, because Husker fans have spent a lot of money lately traveling to OKC, then Houston. And Raff, I don't know if you saw it, but now they're going to have to go travel to Wrigley Field in September.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so, if we host one, that'll help out. And then we just go down to Omaha. Husker fans could save their wallets a little bit, and the crowd support will be absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, it'll be wild times, that's for sure. And it just, yeah, just to see that monster, like that, the monster of Nebraska fans, like, you feel it, but now when you just see it, just go to these incredible, like all the travel, what it was for Oklahoma City into Houston, and then, Wrigley Field. Like, people that don't think Wrigley Field's going to be sold out for that volleyball event, I think they'll be sadly mistaken.
They'll sell 47,000 tickets. I can promise.
I mean, it's just what Husker Nation is. I mean, it's a monster. It is a monster, and when it's awakened with a great product, then it goes into overdrive, and that's what we've seen with basketball. And in a baseball, like the 2 things right now with the baseball team are, 1, don't get big heads and be satisfied, and 2, hopefully the injury bug stays away from Nebraska baseball. If those 2 things happen, then you're going to see Nebraska baseball fans go into overdrive too. I mean, I already know that there's a lot of people that already go down and tailgate before Nebraska baseball games, Can you imagine what those tailgates are going to turn into if Nebraska would host a regional? I mean,
LSU will finally get a run for their money.
Oh, yeah, the Jello shots. There we go in Omaha. If they somehow can make it to the CWS, I mean, but yeah, if they're able to host a regional or a regional and maybe even a super regional in Lincoln, 2 consecutive weekends. I mean, the tailgating for that. I mean, it'd probably be right up there with Nebraska football, because it would just be just the scene of it all. So I'm excited for it, but like I said, Nebraska's got to continue to play good baseball, and they got to stay away from the injury bug. So a little bit of it's luck and a lot of it's skill. So we shall see.
Yeah, and I think you're right. The tailgating scene would match that of football games. I mean, I say it all the time. People love Husker baseball.
Yeah.
They like baseball in general. Like, this state doesn't. And shout out, we got Tristan Gomez, Nick Wyman. I know they do the Diamond Report. They do it twice a week now. I don't know if they announced that yet, but hey, they'll get that twice a week.
Surprise.
But people love baseball, and to have a program, not just one, but 2 that you can fully get behind, and they're winning and succeeding at this level, it is going to be pandemonium. But what you said, they hit overdrive on this stuff. And Husker baseball, they have their loyal diehard fans that have been watching forever, and they get a chance to go be rowdy and be proud. Yeah, I say that a little bit sarcastic, but also true. Like, LSU, tip your cap. Like, they're awesome. They're very great showing up for the team. They do awesome tailgates, but it would be the first time in a while that they get challenged, and who's got the better tailgate and who's got the real numbers, because Nebraska's going to absolutely 100% take it over if they make it.
Well, it happens for, just about every sport. Like I was telling Nick last night, I go, like you said, he wasn't alive for it, neither for you, but Nebraska football, when it hits overdrive, like what you've seen over the last, 15, 20 years, that's just been a casual Nebraska, sellout, which is great. Don't get me wrong. The fans are great. But when Nebraska and, top 10 team in the country, top 15, when it goes in, Lincoln turns into a magical place. Like, it goes into a whole different level. And you've seen it with these sports, with basketball, baseball, volleyball.
And we saw it with Frost a little bit before we started playing games.
Yeah.
Like, it was, and I, kind of a joke, but also reality. Like, there was that magical feeling. Like, you could feel it in the air. Like, people were wrongfully convinced, but convinced. And I think I was part of it personally a little bit. I won't lie to you guys, where it was like, oh my Lord, like, you could just feel it. Like, the city was so different. Everyone was so fired up. You go to the spring game, it's 86,000 people. And then they were just holding, that was just a beautiful dream. So, if you have the results with the dream, holy smokes. Then I can really start visualizing the stories that I hear about Lincoln in the 90s.
Yeah, it turns into a monster. And like you saying that with Frost, that you are right about that when it first happened and he was hired, and that kind of like all the way up until basically the lightning storm, the first game. I guess that was a sign. But you're right. I remember the buildings, our red burns brighter. They were painting them on all the sides of the buildings and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely like, it's something to behold. Like that, the last 20 years, Nebraska football games, I know they've sold out every game, and I know they've had some games that I can think of where they were loud, and you've had between the third and fourth quarter, and you've seen bits and pieces of it, but a constant, just a complete, just mayhem, wild, crazy Nebraska fans will travel anywhere. That's something that I hope that, that you're able to see. I'm hoping that maybe I'll see it again before the end of my lifetime, but at least we're getting a taste of this, with the basketball team, and hopefully with the baseball team, and what the softball team can do, and what these, what volleyball has done. It's like just the craziness that it brings. I mean, look at Nebraska volleyball last year and all the opposing teams that set attendance records.
12 of 18.
Yeah, because of Nebraska fans. It's wild. So yeah, fingers crossed one day Nebraska will return up to that echelon to where you can see just how wild and crazy Lincoln can be.
Yeah, and it's a real thing. Like, the fan base, when I generally believe like Nebraska has the best fans in college sports, and like, it's not just BS. either. Like there's some real unique cultural things and just geographical. My Lord, that would have been embarrassing if I forgot that word on the blank there. But that make this place truly unique. And I think you listen to Fitness Fanatics on Sunday, or at least the beginning of it. They actually had
it all.
Yeah, they actually had a psychologist on there.
Yep.
He kind of talked about the dynamic of like, listen, like it is different here. And he kind of explains to why there is a real magic why, if Nebraska loses, there's like a cloud over the entire city. And if Nebraska wins, it's like the greatest day. And everyone, kicks their door open in the morning singing. Like it's just two wildly different days depending on how a university's athletic department does. You're just not going to find that where an athletic department decides how a majority of the city is going to wake up and feel that first hour of the day. So it is a unique thing. And it is something that, although we say it a lot, I do think some schools always like think they kind of understand it. But until you have moments like where they go to OKC and for volleyball, the way they're selling out, like when you can visualize it and like have those memories or those moments, I think that's when other universities and other athletes, if you want to talk about just recruiting, like really perch up and say, wait a minute, what the hell is going on over there? And that's a recruiting strength that we will always have if you have the big games and you can go win those big games or at least be part of the national conversation. And luckily, knock on wood, football gets there, but basketball got there this year. Baseball, softball, they're in it right now. Bowling's in it every year. Tougher sport to sell, I understand. But you go look at the Big Red Invite, our home meet, and then go look at other teams' meets. They're jealous that they don't have a Big Red Invite. Like, it's a monster. And all you got to do is get yourself in a significant moment. It doesn't have to be the peak moment. And, like, no one else is going to do it like Nebraska. It's the most unreal thing ever. And I got reminded again by basketball.
Yep. No, I agree with you totally. And it'll keep on snowballing with Nebraska baseball, Nebraska softball as the seasons continue. And if they continue to win and be successful, like you're always going to have the support. Like I've never questioned Nebraska fans one bit, that they're always going to give their support to all the Nebraska athletic programs. But it's when it goes into that overdrive, when that product on the field or the product on the court goes to another level, then the fandom goes to another level also. So it'll be exciting to watch, especially if the baseball team stays healthy and the softball team continues to dismantle everyone that comes in their path. You're just going to see wildness in Lincoln come May and June.
And I'm looking forward to it because I think that's going to be a real possibility. And not, like I said, it's not a dream. It feels like totally possible and capable with the products that we've seen so far. We'll throw it to break. Raff's Good Take on Sports, 93.7 Ticket, ticketfm.com. Talk to you guys in a little bit. We'll throw it to break. Be back in 5.
This is Grant Wister. I played at Nebraska, and after football, I wanted to build something in Nebraska that I was genuinely proud of. Champ Roofing is that. We built the whole company around one idea: do the job right and treat people well. Roof replacements, inspections, gutters, siding, whatever you need, our team is going to show up, communicate with you, and handle it with real care. Nebraska homeowners deserve that. Visit us at champ-roofing.com or call 402-858-7449.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
John just tried Runza's new Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger with its sweet heat bacon jam, pepper jack cheese, bacon, and cream cheese.
Whoa, this burger's like totally
What?
You know, boom, 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 boom.
Not sure I'm getting it.
It's totally jammin'.
Ah, I see. Well, don't jam with your mouth full. Try the Jammin' Bacon Cheeseburger. Because from the way we make it to the way it makes you feel, Runza makes it all better.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Looking for something fun tonight? Axe throwing, local beer, and great vibes are waiting at Arbor Axe House. From casual nights out to celebrations and team events, it all starts here. Reserve a lane today at arbораxe.com. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between, we'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in segment number 2. Raff's Good Take on Sports 937 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Of course, Raff, plenty of things to talk about. I mentioned it slightly, and then I definitely want to get to what you have for segment 2. But just quickly, what are your thoughts? Husker volleyball playing in Wrigley Field, like another iconic chapter and in a very, very iconic stadium.
Okay, so it's awesome. I mean, being, like you said, it's an iconic stadium. But the first thing that went through my head was I flashed back into probably the 1980s, and I remember Harry Carey going, "And the wind is blowing out to center field today." And there's 8,000.
That was Jalen's concern as well.
There's 8,000 home runs hit. You know, I could see, like, I mean, they call Chicago. What do they call Chicago again? I forgot. Let me see.
City.
Oh yeah, the Windy City. And that was my first thought was, oh no, you know, like hopefully it's a night. They looked at the Farmer's Almanac beforehand to pick out the date, so there won't be a wind. But man, if it's windy that day, that would be interesting. I guess you would. Do they have a contingency plan to where they could push it back later in the both games or matches back later in the day? I wonder if it's too windy, or do they just say, "Hey, let's take on the elements"? I mean, it would be wild to be with the wind on one set and then be against the wind on the next set. So, yeah,
it's well, there's going to be a lot. Like they'll figure out which way the wind's blowing majority of the time through that stadium, and with the lakes there, it's easier to figure out. Then, you know, how are you going to position the court, right, to fight the wind if there is any that day? And then you probably do have to have some contingency plans because, you know, the volleyball's light, Raff. It doesn't take much to really get that thing off script. And, you know, it's a little bit concerning, but at the same time, I mean, you've lived in Nebraska, Raff.
Yeah.
Pretty damn windy a lot of times here. And it just worked out that day in volleyball day at Nebraska. So hopefully they get that luck there. If it is windy, though, that favors us still, I think.
I was going to say advantage Nebraska because all the girls play sand volleyball.
100%. Yeah, they're used to playing outside. Like, it's different, right? And listen, if we're talking 15-mile-an-hour winds, like, you might have to cancel it then, but there's not a lot of practice and reps that you can probably really combat that stuff. But yeah, I would think, right? Because they've played outside, and there's a whole new element to that. And it has a significant different feel. Like that wind will move that ball more than you think. And if you're not used to it, I think that's definitely going to favor Nebraska. And I know Jalen Ray has talked about the associate head coach for the volleyball program and, you know, saying like, you know, maybe it's a thing where we discuss, do we want to practice outside, you know, the week leading up to it? And our schools like Missouri going to do the same thing because it's a different thing. It's a real thing to kind of get used to, that wind element, and it will drastically kind of change the ball on shots. And if you're not used to it, it'll be probably tough to pick up on the fly.
Yeah, no, I like I said, that was the first thing I thought of is like, what will the wind be? And then what is there a contingency plan? Because the Cubs are probably still playing at that time, September, October. I mean, there's a possibility they could still be playing. I guess if Nick's happy, that they make it into the playoffs. So I don't know. And then if you have 47,000 people buy tickets for the event, you've got to have something happen, because I'm guessing they don't want to be issuing a bunch of refunds, or if on the ticket it says no refunds. But yeah, it'll be fun to watch. That was one thing with the volleyball night, or the volleyball when Nebraska was at Memorial Stadium. They really lucked out there where the conditions were, pretty much perfect for that night. So we'll see if they can, get that luck weatherness to happen once again when they play at Wrigley Field.
Should be awesome. Like I said, 47,000, a little bit more than that, I think, is the capacity. They'll probably sell it out, I'd imagine, pretty easily. We got unknown texter 5124 says, how about baseball beating Creighton? Amen to that. You can go back first 25 minutes. We talked about it quite a bit. We had a live reaction to the win. But yes, Nebraska baseball gets its 26th win of the season, and it's not even April, which is just phenomenal. And you beat a rival in Creighton, despite letting them come back a little bit, but you finished the job. That's all anybody truly cares about. All right, Raff, we only got a few minutes left here on segment 2, so I'll let you go ahead and shoehorn in a little bit on what you want to get into.
Okay, so I just want to say a little bit about the NFL owners meetings that are going on in Phoenix.
Uh-huh.
and the owners and the GMs and how everything kind of gets kind of sometimes I don't know if they communicate that well. Like the 49ers, they talked to John Lynch and Shanahan, and they said Brandon Ayuk would never set foot on a 49er field again. Then they talked to Jed York, and Jed York makes it sound like, well, there is a possibility that he could return to the 49ers. Then you got the Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson, still a quarterback for the Browns. Haslam, who last year came out and said it was one of his biggest mistakes signing him, now is saying that he has the potential to possibly be the starting quarterback for the Browns next year. So I'm all in for this Deshaun Watson versus Shedeur Sanders matchup. I think that'll be one for the books. And then with every offseason, you always have Dallas Cowboys. And what is the one thing with the Dallas Cowboys? They're going to have contractual issues with the superstar. And here we go again. Pickens isn't signing on the dotted line. He isn't going to show up for any. And when it's all said and done, Pickens will probably end up signing a huge contract. But until that time happens, you're going to have, as the world turns, Jerry Jones referring to himself as daddy. I mean, you just got a lot of just craziness that takes place. And then you got the potential replacement referees. And now they're talking about how if they have replacement referees, they'll be able to go to New York, and New York can buzz in to let them know if they missed something egregious. And I'm just sitting there going, what is going on? That just seems like that's just going to be a complete cluster if they have replacement referees again. I don't understand it, why the NFL and the referees don't come to the table and find some sort of agreement. Like we talked about a couple weeks back or last week, that I mean, the NFL's making a ton of money. It's like, why you couldn't make referees full-time employees is beyond me. But I have a feeling we'll be seeing, watching a game, nothing will break up a game more than when they get buzzed, and then they got to go talk to New York, and New York's going to be like, oh yeah, you missed this roughing the passer call. And then if they bring back the real referees and they miss a roughing the passer call, all the fans and teams are going to be like, call New York. But then they're like, oh no, that's only was when we
got pros out there now. No need.
Yeah,
stupid backwards reasoning behind it, Raff. Because I'm with you 100%. I got the quote here. And this is my biggest problem with it. So obviously, if there's replacement officials, they're going to have this in a command center in New York City, allowing them to consult with the on-field referee on best part of this, a wide variety of called and uncalled penalties and other administrative procedures. Yeah. So anything, like at any point, anytime, anything, whatever you want. Like, could you call in New York, be like, hey, this guy's wearing green socks. How much is the fine for that? How do I go about it? Like, what are we doing here? Like, obviously that's an extreme case, and we'll get to that, but it's also like, what? Just whenever, I guess is how I read it.
It's the NFL. I mean, you got guys making tens on tens of millions of dollars. You got some guys making, upwards of 50, 60 million dollars. And now you're going to be like, okay, well, New York can buzz in, and oh man, I don't get it. I just kind of roll my eyes, and I'm just like, and it's almost like the Dallas Cowboys. At the end of the day, they're going to come to the table and they're going to come to an agreement. I mean, it's going to happen. And I'm sure the referees are sitting back and saying, all right, start with replacement referees. We saw what happened last time. It's going to happen again. And then the NFL, tuck their tails between their legs and be like, we came to an agreement with the referees, when they could have just done it at the very beginning. But it's just, it's two sides being stubborn and not finding a medium. So, but
I'll never understand it, Raff. I'll never understand it. And it's not just with the NFL. It's a lot of these companies that are like incredibly wealthy. When they have a situation or a problem like that on their hands, can somebody take like a 0.05% pay cut?
Yeah.
That's really what we're talking about. Like these people have so much money, and you have a product worth billions of dollars, and you can't figure out a way to make the refs full time, because if we do that, then they have to have benefits, and that's expensive. We'll figure it out. Like, it blows my mind, and I get a little bit mad, and I kind of yell at the mic because these are just like the dumbest forced issues in my mind. There's no reason that this should be an issue whatsoever.
But then you look at these owners, they don't want to be full-time referees because benefits are expensive and stuff like that. But then they have no problem giving a gazillion dollars to their alma mater.
Exactly.
Jerry Jones to Arkansas, the Haslams to Tennessee. It's like, what, but until they prioritize, refereeing, it's going to be a mess. No matter if they're buzzing in from New York or not, it will be a mess. We saw this once. I remember when it happened. This will never happen again. And here we are, history repeating itself. So hopefully by the time the NFL season starts, they can find some type of an agreement. But like I said, I won't hold my breath. It's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys. Well, I know I don't have to hold my breath because I know that they're going to have some sort of contractual issue every season. That's just part of the NFL season.
The part is one of the best selling rides there at Jerry Jones World is I don't know what to name it, the contract roller coaster, whatever you want to call it. Unknown texter 5124 talking about, again, the NFL and the officials and having the buzz in from New York. It says as soon as gambling is pushed, maybe referencing it's rigged. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what, just make sure Vegas isn't in that command center up there in New York. Get them the hell out of that command center because then you'll have some real problems. We got to throw it to break over the clock here. Raff's good take on life coming on the other side. So don't go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket. We'll talk to you guys in just a little bit.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Fans, are you craving the ultimate game day experience? Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill has your front row seat to all the action. Dive into delicious wings, juicy burgers, and ice-cold drinks, all served up with TVs covering every inch of the wall, so you'll never miss a play. Rally your crew, cheer on your team, and take advantage of game night specials every week. Stop in for a Nebraska basketball game with a party of 4 or more and receive a free pitcher of beer. Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill, right by the Lincoln Airport at 3111 Northwest 12th Street.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes! Sarah down the street had Roofing Service Company install James Hardy siding on their home, and they love it.
Roofing Service Company does have great reviews.
They took her through the design process and made everything super easy.
Roofing Service Company offers expert design and installation. Couple that with James Hardy's durable products and variety of colors, you and your family will love your exterior remodel. Just visit roofingservicecompany.com. That's roofingservicecompany.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Looking for something fun tonight? Axe throwing, local beer, and great vibes are waiting at Arbor Axe House. From casual nights out to celebrations and team events, it all starts here. Reserve a lane today at arboraxe.com. Arbor Axe House at the corner of N Street and Antelope Valley.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now in our new time. We're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Tune in to Outside the Box from 4 to 5 p.m. for everything you need to know about the Lincoln Stars. Join head coach Rocky Russo and play-by-play voice Alex Fern as they sit down with special player guests to tell the story of the Lincoln Stars and give you all the news and notes you need from around the USHL. That's Outside the Box with the Lincoln Stars on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. At DWE Generations, having a plan matters, especially when it comes to protecting what's most important. They work with individuals, families, and business owners to help make smart financial decisions that support life today and set the foundation for generations. David Darlington, Russell Walton, and Cody Eiler bring decades of experience, and their dedicated team provides follow-through, answering questions, explaining next steps, and staying connected as life evolves. DWE Generations, a generational wealth planning firm. DWE Generations is a marketing name for individuals doing business as representatives of Northwestern Mutual. Visit generations.nm.com or call 402-483-7871 and ask for David, Russell, or Cody. Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Noticing more dust at home? It may be time for duct cleaning from Bryant. Breathe easy and healthy. Call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Back to Raff's Good Take on Sports on 93.7 The Ticket. With all the good takes you need, here is your host, Chris Raff.
Welcome back in. Harrison Arthur, the ones and twos. We got Chris Raff streaming in. Raff's Good Take on Sports to wrap things up as always. Chris Raff, what is on your mind for March 31st?
All right, everybody. Today's Raff's Good Take goes out to Dorian Nolan Jr. He was a guest on Pete Ferguson's show, Bigger Than the Score on Sunday. All the time you keep on hearing about, oh, the future's not that bright, and, you know, there's not enough good in this world and stuff like that. I tell you, you need to listen to Pete Ferguson's show. He brings on scholars every week. And once again, Dorian, just a great kid, helping people out, giving us headphones, you know, so just cool stuff like that, and just a great person. So Dorian, I just want to let you know that you are Raff's Good Take. Thanks for all the things that you do in the community, and just being a good person. I mean, it's great to hear those stories.
Yeah, I definitely encourage. Go back, listen to it. Dorian's a great kid. He can cook too. I don't know if people listen to it, but culinary competitions here in Nebraska, really good cooking skills. He was showing me the stuff he was making, Raff. I can't make that stuff today, and I'm 26 and he's in high school. So that kind of tells you where we're at on our cooking skills, but just an incredible dude. And I got to talk to him off air, and, you know, super respectable, like took the time, made sure to like make eye contact and say what's up. Just a really well-behaved kid. And to your point, Raff, you hear so much negative stuff like these damn kids, they can't get anything right. He's just not talking to the right ones, or you haven't, you know, just been outside enough, period. Like, stop reading everything the article on social media tells you. Like, just go talk to some of these individuals, and you'll feel a lot better about it. So shout out to Dorian, great kid. Just really embodies all the right things. And I kind of told Pete too, I was making the joke because he rewarded Dorian for a random act of kindness that Pete just so happened to see. So I was telling Pete, like, you might just start randomly seeing me outside of your house picking up trash and trying to do random acts of kindness. So one day I show up on Sunday and he's like, "Hey, Harrison, I noticed something. Here's a brand new pair of headphones." Whatever I got to do. But no, in all honesty, I make a joke out of it. But that is exactly what I want to see. Like Dorian did something that was nice. He basically gave a headset to a girl who, I don't know exactly, but the headphones helped for a situation that she was in. And he gave his up to her and said, "Don't worry about it. Here you go." Nobody needed to see it. He didn't announce it. Like, "Did you see this awesome thing I just did?" Just kept it to himself. Pete noticed it and rewarded him later on Sunday. And it's a nice reminder, like, just be nice to people. You're not always going to get the things. You're not always going to get the wireless headphones, but it's going to make an impact on people. So that's a fantastic one, Raff. Shout out to Dorian as well. You got any more final thoughts before we get out of here? I'll hit the out music and let you get us out.
I think I'm all good. Big day today. 1 year ago today, we got Ozzy, the Frenchie. So we've been we gave him a bath tonight. It was a battle, but we survived it. So all's good.
Ozzy wasn't even the good take, huh?
Well, we wait for his birthdays for that. So he was born on January 1st, believe that or not.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, shout out Ozzy. We'll throw him in the mix anyways. That is Raff's dog, by the way. So if people wondering what Ozzy is, giving him baths and everything, yes, that is Chris Raff's dog. But that's going to wrap it up for us, as always. Always pleasure talking to you, Chris Raff. We'll switch things over to DeMornay Piersonell for the next hour. Don't go anywhere. 93.7 The Ticket.